Let's solve this exponential question together. We have 16 raised to the power of x plus 1 all squared is equal to 2 raised to the power of log x cubed raised to the power of 0. B is what? B is 50. So this question here is very big looking at it, but if you want to simplify it, it's very easy. So let's solve this question together. So now remember, you have to remember that 16 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and this will give you 1 2 3 4, that is 2 to the power of 4, right? So where we see 16, we'll put we'll write 16. Where we see 16, we are going to write 2 to the power of 4 bracket open x plus 1 all raised to the power of 2 is equal to 2 raised to the power of log x cubed raised to the power of 0. B is 50. So after putting everything, we have base here is what? The base here is the same, alright? So since the base are the same, we have the base 2 2. So in laws of exponential, when the base are the same, we equate the powers. So here, equating the powers, we now have that 4 bracket open x plus 1 raised to the power of 2 is equal to log what? Log x cubed raised to the power of 0 base 50, right? So here now we have this. So but remember, in laws of log, or let's put this, when p raised to the power of 0 is the same thing as what? As 1. So the same thing, anything that raised to the power of 0 will give us 1. So with that, let's put x cubed raised to the power of 0 as what? As 1. So we now have that 4 bracket open x plus 1 all squared is equal to log 1 base what? 50. That is x cubed raised to the power of 0 is the same thing as what? As 1. So where we see this, we now substitute the value of what? For it as 1. So there we have, but still remember that in laws of log, when you have log of 1 base b is the same thing as what? 0. Conclusively, when you have log of 1 to any base, the result is always what? 0. So with that, we now have 4 bracket open x plus 1 all squared is equal to what? 0, because this is going to be what? 0, because log 1 base 50 is what? 0. Log of 1 to any base is what? Is 0. That is why we now have this to be what? To be 0. Okay, so with that, 4 times x will give us 4x, because we want to open this bracket now. And so let's not go straight to that. Let's factorize this first. 4 bracket open x plus 1 bracket open x plus what? 1. That's to tell you that this 2 here is telling you that we have this bracket into 2 places. Okay, so everything here we are going to repeat it, because the power is what? 2, telling you we have the bracket into 2 places. So with this, we'll now use the first bracket to open the second bracket. Let's have it as what? X times x will give us x squared, right? And 1 times x will give us what? X. We are done with this. X times 1, it will give us what? X. 1 times 1 will give you 1. So this will be equated to what? 0. Alright? So with this, we can now multiply 4 throughout to the each term. We'll have 4x raised to the power of 2 plus x, sorry, plus 4x. But before that, we know we have x plus x will give us what? 2x. So let's simplify it so that you will understand it better. Okay, so here we can write x squared plus, so x plus x, that gives us 2x. Okay, then here we have 1 or equal to what? 0. Okay, so let's continue from here. So we now have we now use this 4 to open this bracket. We'll have 4 to the power of what? 4x to the power of 2. Then 4 times 2x, that gives us what? 8x. Then 4 times 1, that gives us what? 4. That equated to 0. So now we are going to, this has formed an quadratic equation in form of a x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, right? So since this has formed a quadratic equation, we factorize this by doing what? We think of two possible values that when you add, you're going to have 8, but when you multiply, you're going to have 16. Why am I calling for 16? Because this 4 here has to multiply with what? With 4. Because when you have a quadratic equation that x raised to the power of 2 is having coefficient more than 1, let the coefficient of that x squared multiply with the last 10. So 4 times 4 is 16. Have it at the back of your mind that this 4 here is no longer 4 but what? 16. But don't change it to be what? Don't change it to be 16. Leave it to be 6. Leave it to be 4. But know that it's 16 that is here. Okay? So when that is done, let's say two possible values that when we add we're having 8 is 4 and 4, because 4 times 4 will give us what? 16, and when we add it together we're going to have what? 8 here. So since we know that, we now say 4x squared plus 4x plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. How? 4x plus 4x is 8. We have not changed anything. We just split 8 into 2 factors that when you add together you're going to have what? 8. So 4 plus 4 is 8x. So we have not changed anything. When that is done, insert your brackets. Okay, after the insertion, what you do next, you think of what's the highest common factor in each of the brackets. So the highest common factor in the first bracket here is 4x, because that is the only thing that will come here and here without what? Remainder. So if we know that, we now say 4x, we write it outside. 4x into 4x squared, that give us what? That will give us x. Okay, because 4x times x is the same thing as 4x. Okay, so here that will give us what? 1, because 4x into 4x is what? Is 1. When you divide it, you have 1. So in the second bracket, the highest common factor here is what? Is 4. Plus 4, we bring it out. 4 into 4x, that gives us x into 4. We have 1. Everything is equated to 0. Okay, so now what you should always think of is these two brackets here. These two brackets always, they must be the same. If you notice that the first bracket is different with the second bracket, you're wrong. You have to go back here and check your solving. But here we have x plus 1 and x plus 1, so which means we're correct. So let's continue. So now after having these two brackets here the same, what we'll do next is we take the outside, we factor this out, which is x plus 1 and x plus 1 is common from both of them. We factor it by saying x plus 1. So after we know that this is common between them, we now say that x plus 1, we take it out. What is remaining here is what? Is 4x. What is remaining here is what? Is 4. That should form the second bracket. Everything equated to 0. Okay, so now either the first bracket is equal to this 0 or the second bracket is equal to that 0. So Since that, let's continue here. Let's continue here. Okay, so now x plus 1 is equal to 0, or 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. Alright, so which means x is equal to minus 1. When you take this plus 1 to the other side, this will change to minus 1, or 4x is equal to 4 minus 4. Alright, so here you're going to do what? You're going to divide both sides by 4. So x is equal to minus 1, or here 4 cancel out, so we have x is equal to what? 4 divided by 4 is what? Minus 1. So therefore x is minus 1, or x is minus 1. So we can simply put it, since we have double root, we can simply put it that x is equal to minus 1 twice. Okay, so that is our final answer. So guys, if you understand, please turn on the notification bell and subscribe to my channel so that you can follow more of this. Bye.